This magazine is... it's in bad shape. Yes. Your items came in. You had two, I believe. You had the Switch game and the... Yes, it's right here. The Video Game Collector's Field Guide. Yes, I know that you're, it's the website there that you had an issue with. It wasn't Indiegogo, it's the other one. I'm drawing a blank as well. It's the one that everyone knows. Anyway, we got it. We got it in. It is a really cool piece of video game history here. Well, let's first start with the game that you got. It is for the Nintendo Switch, and it is the third game in the series. It is Taito Milestones 3. Yes, and it has 10 more arcade games from Taito's Treasure Chamber. So this game comes with Runark, Bubble Bobble, Warrior Blade, Rainbow Islands, Champion Wrestler. I think that's misspelled on here. Should be Champion Wrestler, I believe. Thunder Fox, Rastan Saga 2, Kadash, Rastan Saga, and Dead Connection. Yeah. Correct. So this is sealed. Put this over here. But let's take a look at exactly what you got when you funded this. It comes with a little seal, which is really cool. Looks like from the author there's a big T on the seal here. I'll let you open this up yourself. I'm not gonna touch it. Then comes with a release notes from him, first edition release notes as well. So it says, the Video Game Collector's Field Guide. Your visual guide to collecting video game sets and subsets. Most major and minor systems from the Fairchild Channel F to the PlayStation 3. There are many publications out there that cover basic video game libraries with popular offerings from companies such as Atari, Nintendo, Sega, etc. But who dares to tackle the obscure? The Video Game Collector's Field Guide, that's who. Within these pages, you'll find the Casio Loopy, Virtual Boy, Game Park GP32, Nuon, Gizmondo, Laser Active, Action Max, Pokemon Mini, Game Wave, Saturn, Play Choice 10, Neo Geo AES, Pico, Megaduck, Dreamcast, 3DO, 64DD, Game & Watch, TurboGrafx 16, and so many more. So, this is a 4-volume set with, looks like Tristan on the on the cover here, as you can see, the author. But it is really, really, really well made. And it comes with the 4 volumes. So, Volume 1 is A to R. Volume 2, S to Z. Volume 3 is, when I believe, all of Nintendo. And then Volume 4 is the appendix. Volume 2 is the biggest of the volumes, it seems. Let's see if we can get one of these out here. Yeah, here we go. So, this is what one of the volumes looks like, how thick this is. So it looks like, well, let's take a look exactly at what this one comes with here. You can see on the back some systems. Let's take a look. So he autographed each book for you. But there's a message in here, and it says, kick, punch, it's all in the mind. I'll give you $10 store credit if you can tell me where that quote is from, what game, and who said it. No, I can't give you a hint. I'm giving you money. Alright, I'll give you this hint. It was a game on the original PlayStation. No. No, it was not. It was not Dead or Alive. No. So, this quote is from a character named Master Onion, who was training Parappa the Rapper to be able to rap, to impress Daisy, the girl he likes. It's the first level of the game. So this is actually really cool. This is really cool. Let me explain something. So there's a table of contents, there's a foreword, but here's what's in this book. The Samsung Neon, the Sega SG-1000, the Sega Master System, the Sega Genesis, the Sega 32X, the Sega 32X CD, the Sega CD, the Sega Saturn, the Sega Dreamcast, the Sega Game Gear, the Sega Pico, the SNK Neo Geo AES, Neo Geo CD, and Neo Geo X, as well as the Neo Geo Pocket Color, PlayStation 1 through 3, PlayStation Portable, PlayStation Vita, the Tapwave Zodiac, the Tiger GameCom, the Tiger R-Zone. Now, I'd be interested to see for my own personal self, Pico and R-Zone, and the reason for that is, I'm a collector, as you know, and there supposedly was a game released for the R-Zone. I believe it was Mortal Kombat Trilogy or Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, I forget which. I've seen a loose copy, but I don't know if it came out in the United States. And this, what you bought, this will tell us. It has pictures of every cover art of every game for every one of these systems in this book, along with the other 3 books as well. It also comes with the Tiger Telematics Gizmondo, the Watara Supervision, the Wellback Holdings Megaduck, the Worlds of Wonder Action Max, the Zappit Game Wave. So, this is pretty cool. Let's see if we can find the Pico. Page 219. So let's go into this. Ooh. This is a brand new book. You can feel it. You can hear it. Oh, baby. Yes. So it says there are 20 games released for the Pico. Let's see if we have the ones we need. Anything that was Sonic related for me personally. And it looks like Sonic Game World and Tails were the only two that were released. Tails and the Music Maker. So that's good. Good. Not missing anything. Alright, now let's go to the Tiger Zone here. Let's see if we can find that. Yes, it is. Cover art of every game released for the systems. Everything. Which is great. And it even has PS Vita limited run titles. Very, very, very cool book that you bought. Absolutely, yes. This is the, here we go. Okay. So we are now in the section of the GameCom here. Okay. So it says there were only 20 games released for the GameCom. And we have the Jeopardy, we have the Mortal Kombat trilogy, we have Sonic Jam, the Two Wheel of Fortunes, and the Williams Arcade. Now our zone, 27 games released. So, oh, there's a football game. Oh, it's a soccer game, okay. Mortal Kombat 3, Mortal Kombat trilogy, that's the one. I don't know if it was released in the US or not. Oh, and apparently there was a Virtua Fighter 2 one that was released as well. It's interesting, but it does not show the systems, unfortunately. It does not show what... Yeah, it does not show the systems that come with the games. The headsets, I should say. Okay, well this is very, very, very cool. This whole set is very nice. Maybe you can bring some this by one day and let me look at it while you're browsing, and I'll compensate you for it. The Kickstarter is the name of the website. There we go, yes. You remember now, yeah. I helped you on Kickstarter. But, yeah, it's over. I can't purchase it. I should have kickstarted it myself. I didn't know it existed, and by the time I did, it was too late. Well, this was $399. Yeah, and it came with all the goodies that you saw earlier. And then the Taito Legends is $40. You want to browse? Absolutely. I'm going to keep this here, and when you're ready, just come up to me and we'll package it up for you. And if you find anything else, just let me know. You got it. Let me put these on top so they're safe and sound here. Okay, let me put the game as well. Yes, you had the items that you wanted me to check out and see how much they were worth. Correct. can take a look at them if you'd like. Are you wanting to sell them? Do you want to trade them in for store credit? Or are you just curious as to what they're worth? What they're worth. Okay. Well, you definitely have some unique items here. A little hodgepodge of things. Let's get started. Let's see what you got. Right off the bat, looks like you have a Tiger handheld, very uncommon one, Crash Bandicoot. Does this work? Does it have batteries inside? I don't want to damage it. I'll leave it alone. It does not press the on button, so you have the left and the right directional buttons here. And then a jump button, and a spin button. And then you have on, start, max score, sound, and the off button as well. Let me see what this is worth. I can't find it on price charting. Let me check eBay. Okay. So this version of the game is going for around 199, loose like it is, and I see a couple of sealed ones for about 400. So if you were to trade this in at a video game store, there's a couple things that, not just this, anything you trade in, a couple rules that you need to live by. Majority of stores are not giving you what you can sell it for on eBay. They take the eBay sold numbers, average them out, and pretty much give you about 70% of that. So let's say you did, or this did sell for 200. Let's just call it 200. Well, they would give you 140. Be 70, or, sorry. Yeah, 140. Sorry, it's a little late. My brain isn't working. Because the store has to make some profit, obviously. Now, the other thing that you also have to think about, and you may think to yourself, well, I love this Tiger handheld. Why wouldn't the store owner? Well, the store owner has to think about all the customers that come into the store. The store owner may love this. You may love this. But if the majority of the people aren't looking for this, they're not going to give you even 70% of the item. You'd be lucky if you got half. Because it's going to stay on the store shelves forever. And it's just going to sit there, and it's a waste of money for the store owner. So always remember, when you try to trade in items at any video game store, mom and pop, obviously, you're probably going to get 70% of what it actually sells for. Unless if they don't think, or they think it's going to stay on the shelf for a while. Correct. All right. Let's take a look at what else you have. Wow. This is rare. And look at that, you have a Toys R Us sticker on the back. You found this where? At a flea market. How much did you buy it for? $27. So, I just had a customer who bought a book or a series of books from a guy named Tristan Ibarra. He wrote a series, I can see it right here. It's the Videogame Collector's Field Guide. Well, this game is for the GameCom, the Tiger GameCom system. Do you know what that is? No. Okay. You thought it was just like another Nintendo? No. So the GameCom was a system. Okay, so the first game you showed me was a handheld by this company named Tiger Electronics. Well, Tiger Electronics wanted to compete with the Game Boy in the late 90s. They wanted to get in onto the handheld action. At the time, Game Boy was really the only one left. The Game Gear had fizzled out. The Atari Lynx was long gone. So really you only had the Game Boy. Neo Geo was coming out with its Wonder Swan, or Neo Geo Color, excuse me. But that wasn't going to come out until after 2000 or around 2000. Tiger wanted to get in. And Tiger created a system that on paper blew the Game Boy out of the water. It had online connectivity. It basically was a Palm Pilot in a system as well. It could connect to the internet. I believe you could play over a local area network against other players. Backlit screen. And it sold for about $100. Maybe 20 or so more dollars than a Game Boy was selling for. A ton of third-party developers wanted to develop for it. When it came out, at first it did okay, and then it fizzled out for a couple of reasons. Even though the screen was backlit, the graphics were so gray, like it was dark. You couldn't see a lot of the movement was so fast, like in the Sonic game that came out for it. It was just a blur on a gray background. So even though it was backlit, I believe it was backlit. Don't quote me on that. I want to say it was. It was one of the features. It just didn't do well. Puzzle games showed up great, like this one. But this game is worth so much money compared to the others because it came out in the end of the GameCom's life cycle. Late 90s, 97. And to have one sealed like this, Wheel of Fortune 2 is the game. This is worth $400 at minimum. I've seen this sell for $800. You get a collector that is looking for this, you could easily sell it for whatever because they need it and there's not a lot of them. Very rare. To find this at a yard sale for $27, consider this the holy grail of finds, if that's the case. Good for you. Unbelievable. Okay. Next up, looks like you have a couple of Game Boy games. This is a very good one. Operation C. This is a Contra game for the Game Boy. And complete in box. They're all complete. Okay, I trust you. I don't want to mess up the box and take anything out here, but complete in box. This is easily a $200 game. You could easily sell it for. Yeah. I would say about 10 years ago, this was fetching $400 and $500 prices. It's come down a little bit, but it's still a very, very must-have game for any Game Boy enthusiast. So Operation C, it was Contra, basically on the go, and it was great. It's a great, fun little package here. Yeah, 200 for this one. And this is another uncommon one. This came out towards the latter third of the Game Boy's life cycle, because this is a Super Game Boy game pack. Oh, you don't know what Super Game Boy is? Okay. Well, Nintendo came out with an accessory that would plug into the Super Nintendo. And then you would plug the Game Boy game into the Super Game Boy, which would allow the games to have some kind of color to them. Also allowed you to pick some colors, not a lot, but you could change the borders and the backgrounds and things of that nature. So you can even see what I'm talking about. So on the back here, you see up top, yeah, you see that? That's play on the regular Game Boy. And then you can see the color right there for the Super Game Boy. What it would do. Yeah. This has fluctuated in price over the years. I've seen a couple on eBay. Let me just double check. Oh, I'll go to price charting for you. It'll tell me. Yeah. This is about $80. It's kind of hard to find complete like this. And then this is in really decent condition. But $80, yeah. A couple, I would say, probably about 8 to 10 years ago, you could have fetched 150 to 200, but not anymore. It's odd, because it is hard to find complete. Okay. Okay, this one isn't going to be worth as much as you'd think it would. It would be. Let's move this over. This is the complete direct Super Mario All-Stars for the Super Nintendo. Yeah. Now, when this came out, this was all the rage because it had the first 3 NES Mario games that came out in the States. Redone, really, with 16-bit graphics. So they looked so much better than the NES games did. And then it also came out with the game that was never released here in the United States because it was too hard. The game testers at Nintendo of America thought that Americans couldn't beat it, couldn't even do anything with it. So they took a Japanese game called Doki Doki Panic, and they renamed that game with Mario characters as Super Mario Bros. 2 here in the States. But the actual real Super Mario Bros. 2 was released in Japan, and here in the States on this package, it was called that's right, you've heard of this, the Lost Levels. Yeah. Now this came out in 1993. So you gotta think, Mario 2 I think came out in like 86, 87, I wanna say. So it was about 6 years later that it finally got released in the States. And yeah, these games were redone with 16-bit graphics. They look much more crisp on the Super Nintendo. When this came out, this was one hell of a deal because you got 4 Mario games for the price of one game pack. I think it was $69.99 normal price back then. But unfortunately, I want to say this is maybe worth $60. 60 to 80 bucks, maybe if you're lucky. Complete like this, again, most game stores will take it because it's hard to find complete in really good condition like this is. But yeah, 60 to 80 for Super Mario. This is a unique item. And this is, look at that, it's brand new. Really. This is the Game Genie for the original Game Boy system. And it is brand new, still sealed after all these years. Box is in a little bit of rough shape. Seals are a little bit rough, but still has the hang tab. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Oh, when this came out, I remember personally because the first system I ever had as a kid was Game Boy. Everybody else in my school or that I knew was always one system ahead of me. So when the Super Nintendo and the Genesis released, I finally got my first system. It was a Game Boy. When the Nintendo 64 came out, I finally got a Sega Genesis, one of those deals. But when this came out, all my friends had Game Genie for NES and Super Nintendo and everything else. But when this came out for the Game Boy, personally as a kid, I loved life because I could beat my games now that I couldn't beat earlier, which was great. And it came with a little tiny code book, very, very small code book. If you weren't careful, you'd lose it. So yeah, this was an accessory. Now this was a funny deal. So you know how when you put the Game Boy game into a Game Boy, you put it in and the label's facing you. Well, with this Game Genie, you had to put the game in facing away from you. Yeah. Very strange how they did it, but unfortunately, I sold one of these a couple weeks ago. It wasn't sealed, so it may give you a little bit more money. It's not as much as you think. Let me look on eBay for some sealed ones. Yeah. Not as much as I thought. So, if it was just in the box, it's about 20 bucks. Brand new, it doubles. It's about 40 bucks for this. Again, game stores may give you a good 70% of the 40 because they could sell this for 80, 90 bucks and make a profit. You, on the other hand, probably can't. Yeah, you can try, but it's tough. Oh, wow. I have never seen this. Look at this. Where did you find this? Your friend had it in his basement and he just handed it to you? You know what, buddy? You need to play the lottery, my friend, because you got a $400 game for 27 bucks and you just hit the jackpot with this. So, I've heard of this. I never seen one before until now. This Crash Bandicoot game we talked about. Well, Tiger re-released this game in their 99X Games label. And this is sealed. This is a sealed, this came out in 1998. This is a sealed copy. And what made this different was there was a different game mode where you could have a friend that had another one of these. And if you had the game link, which comes with this, it's right here in the back, you could play head to head. I want to say this is more expensive than that GameCom game. Let me just double check here. Let's go to price charting, okay? No, they're not going to have Tiger games. Okay, let's go to eBay. Wow. These are selling right now. Selling. Doesn't mean they're going to get them. Selling for about $650. Okay, now remember, here's the thing with this kind of a niche. It's a niche item. If it's sold for $650, okay, even let's just call it $600 to be safe. You get about $420 from a game store, but you wouldn't, because a game store would be cool to see and people might ask questions about it. But not a lot of people are walking into a used game store to drop $500 to $600 on this. So what you may get out of that is maybe $250. If you sold it to a game store, you can try your luck on the internet. But what a really cool piece of gaming history that is. Do you have any other? Really? I wasn't here this morning, so I didn't really know what was here. I just saw a pile of stuff, and I've been so busy that I haven't even really paid attention. But wow. Do you know what you have here? Okay, this is a sealed. What is with you in these sealed items? A sealed Tiger R-Zone. And it's a Virtua Fighter. It comes with the headset, it comes with the control pad, it comes with the game. This is unreal. Okay, what this system was, when Nintendo released Virtual Boy, Tiger wanted to get in on the action, but Tiger didn't, aside from the GameCom that eventually came out a couple years later. Tiger really didn't foray into systems, if you will. They made the handhelds that I've just talked about with you. But what they wanted to do was try to get into the VR mid-90s, hip kind of deal. And so they created a system that was pretty much a handheld system, but came with a headset. Instead of black characters or black colored, items on a screen, digital, these were red, sort of like the red color of the Virtual Boy. And as you can see, this guy, he has the headset on, sort of like a headband, and then this comes down over an eye, one of your eyes, and you're looking at this screen, and it's very tiny, and that's what you're looking at. This was such a cool contraption when it was announced and released, and the commercials for it were amazing. The system, however, was a pile of junk. Just like the Tiger electronic games were. They were junk. But to have one sealed like this, yeah, is unbelievable. Again, you're in the category of this. Now, this may sell faster than this would, but that's easy. I don't even have to look that up. At minimum, you're looking at $600 for that. Again, Game Store may give you $420 for it, but $600 at the minimum. And you have a couple of PSP systems, I see. What, you steal all this stuff off the back of a truck? I mean, where's this stuff coming from? Yeah, let me take a look at these. The first one we have here, look at this. What a beautiful, beautiful system. So this is the limited edition God of War PSP, red PSP. And this came with God of War Chains of Olympus, and it also came with Superbad, movie, Superbad. So you got both. You got the game, God of War, Chains of Olympus, and then you got Superbad as well. The interesting thing about this, yeah, unbelievable. Look at that. Let's open this up, or is it? I want to rip the box here. Yeah, I'm going to leave this alone. I mean, you can obviously see the systems right inside. This is a $200 to $300 item, easily. This will sell. Definitely will sell. And then you have the PSP Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep White PSP. And this came with a Sony Music Pass with 50 free music downloads and a 4 gigabyte Memory Stick Pro Duo Mark II Magic Gate. Wow. And of course, this is when Birth by Sleep was the prequel to everything. Kingdom Hearts had Aqua and Ventus and Terra. Yeah, there's the original Keyblade. Well, not the original Keyblade Masters, and technically I misspoke. Kingdom Hearts Union Chain Uncrossed, or whatever that was called. That technically is the prequel to everything, because that's when the Keyblade Masters, there were 7, I think 6 or 7 of them, and the the one master disappears, and one of them is going to be a traitor, and then we find out that through reincarnation, one of the Keyblade Masters ends up being one of the members of Organization 13. And I forget exactly, I think it was, what is his name? Why can't I think of this guy's name? Oh boy, I forget. It's not Axel. Axel's friends with Roxas and everything else, but boy, oh boy, I can't think of this guy's name. Anyway, if you play Kingdom Hearts, you'll know what I'm talking about. This is another $200 to $300 item easily. Well, I mean, you've certainly showed me some really cool things today. What are your plans with them? Are you gonna sell them? You're gonna trade them in? You're gonna do it yourself? What do you want to do? Okay. Well, personally for me, I'd buy them off you. I mean, I'll make you an offer. It's going to be less than what you could probably get on your own if you sold every single one of them. But the fact is, it'll take you a long time to sell every single item here. So I'll give you a flat $1,500 for everything. Yeah, you're looking at about 6 for that. You're looking at about 3. I'll go with $250 each. It's 11. 4 for the Wheel of Fortune. So you're already at 15 there. So think of it this way. You're just handing me the 2 Game Boy games, the 2 Crash Bandicoot games. You're losing about $1,000. You'll think about it? Okay. Well, think about it. I'm always here. And I appreciate you coming by and showing me this, yeah. Okay. I'll see you later. Well, you're going to browse around? Okay. Well, do you want to leave this up here, or do you want to take it with you? Oh, you have a bin over there, I see. Okay. So if you do buy anything, you'll just put everything in there. I got you. All right, yeah. I'll put these to the side. You don't have to worry about me stealing anything. Yeah. Everything's here. Camera's there. Don't worry about it. Okay. Okay. Now, you want the things... Do you find anything? No? Okay. So it'll be about $440 for the 2 items. Okay. And my employee over there will ring you up, and I'll bring the stuff over and package it up for you, nice and neat for you. How's that sound? Okay, pleasure doing business with you. Yeah, we'll see you. Yeah, right down there. Okay. See you.